All right. Hey, friends and neighbors, how's everybody doing tonight? If somebody would give me a thumbs up, let me know that the sound's okay. All right. Well, hey, friends and neighbors, how's everybody doing tonight? This is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Sunday night, we're coming up on 7 o'clock. So, have not done a video, didn't post a video yesterday morning or this morning. Working on one for tomorrow morning, but just wanted to come on and say hey to everybody, hang out for a little while, see if anybody had any questions about anything, talk a little bit about farming, let you know sort of what's going on around here and what's happening. So appreciate everybody joining us. Tell Eric I said hey. Got a call in over here. Hey. We've got 26 folks going. 26 folks have joined us tonight, so appreciate everybody taking time out of your busy night. Sonner just came in and told me a few minutes ago that the Packers lost. Don't know what your particular bent is on the football world, but not a particular Tom Brady fan. I hope I don't lose any subscribers over that, but congratulations to those guys. Lots going on around here. Spring is coming. We had a new baby lamb that showed up Thursday morning. I went out to do chores, and son of a gun, if we didn't have a brand new baby lamb standing up out in the field. He's doing great. Went out and checked him again today, picked him up. He is a chunk. We have limited experience with lambs, but this guy is the best looking lamb that I've ever had. I mean, he's healthy. He looks good. Good heft to him. I mean, he feels very dense. Nursing well. Mom is taking good care of him, so we're excited about how he's doing. So let's jump in and talk about some questions. We got a few folks joining in on the chat here. Benlow Homestead, is there a need to medicate the pigs for parasites, etc.? If so, what's the best time? So our piglets, we will medicate. We will medicate the piglets for worms. We use Safeguard. We will typically put them on some Safeguard just as they're being weaned or right after weaning. We'll give them some Safeguard for worms. And then I'd have to look, that's Saunders' area of expertise. I think we will worm those pigs about every 6 months, give or take a little bit. I don't remember exactly what the schedule on that is. But yeah, we do medicate for parasites. Chris Mullen had a great time hanging out today. The family and I were really encouraged. Chris, appreciate y'all coming. Chris and his wife Chantal came out today, visited the farm. We sat around the kitchen table, had a cup of coffee, talked all things farming, and we just had a great day with those folks. So we really appreciate y'all coming out. Good to see the kids, and good to see kids growing up on a farm. I was texting back and forth with a young lady I work with earlier in the week, and she wanted to bring her son out. I think he's a year and a half, I guess. And I told her kids are made for farms and farms are made for kids. So if you ever have a chance to get your kids out on the farm or raise your kids on a farm, I'd highly encourage doing it. There's a lot of life lessons that you can learn on a farm that you just can't learn on an Xbox. So get your kids involved in farming and raising animals. Hillside Farm, how far out are you for processing dates around your area? We have processing dates lined up through the end of 2021. We were scheduling our 2021 dates back in June of last year. We were lucky enough, we had a good relationship with our processor. We had some animals that needed to go. They were booked up. We went on some waiting lists, and they were able to get us in, and we were able to get some stuff processed. But right now, for our particular processor, we're scheduled through the end of 2021, and talking to a lot of folks, it sounds like that's pretty typical in most areas, is that everybody's processing dates are pretty backed up. So, Woodpecker Ranch, have you guys thought about getting into meat rabbits, and why? We have not. And let me just tell you why. I've watched some, y'all are going to think I'm awful. I've watched some videos on processing rabbits. don't think I could do it. Son and I talk all the time around here. If pigs looked like they look when they're babies, I don't think we could process them. But they don't. They're adult pigs. Rabbits are just. I've got a soft spot in my heart, man. I just don't know that I could do rabbits. Talk to folks that have done rabbits, have had good luck with rabbits, and do well with rabbits. That's just not something that we've just never gone down that road and really explored it. Don't know that I would be opposed to it, but it's just not something that we've looked into yet. Woodpecker Ranch, by the way, enjoy every video you guys upload. Keep it up. Thank you a bunch. I appreciate that. Seemed like views were down this past week. I'm not sure why. Don't know if it was the thumbnail, if it was the title, if it was the topic that we were talking about, but seems like views were down this week. So we're going to just keep plugging right along. I got a video that I've been working on here tonight. Should have that thing out tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. And got a few ideas, some stuff I want to do. I've had a little bit of a mental block the past couple days, but that seems to have opened up a little bit tonight. So I'm excited about getting some more videos out this coming week. Richard Benfield, hey Richard, any thoughts on deciding if a particular farmer's market has too much competition for the products you have, and or deciding if there's enough market for your products at a particular farmer's market? So in the, excuse me, that's an interesting question, and let's talk about that and unpack that for just a minute. Something that I've noticed is that in farmers markets, particularly in the ones that we participate in, and in talking to some other folks that do markets, there tends to be a lot of competition in the vegetable world. Not uncommon for there to be multiple vendors that are there selling selling tomatoes and cucumbers and lettuce and peppers and squash and all that kind of stuff. And it seems to work out pretty well. But lots of times there is a throttling back of having meat vendors at a market. And I'm not sure why that is. We participated in a market last year and we were asked not to bring certain products if another vendor was there. We've kind of worked through that. We had some customers that requested that we bring a full complement of our products to that market. They expressed that to the market manager. So this year we're taking it all every time. That's the plan. Don't know why that is, but me personally, I'm not afraid of competition. I'm not afraid of going into a market that has another pork vendor, that has another chicken vendor, that has another beef vendor, because there are people that go to those markets that my story and the way we raise animals may resonate with better than another farmer's story and the way they raise animals. We may match up with a particular group of customers better than somebody else. So I'm not particularly afraid of competition. I think that we grow a quality product. I think we price things at a fair price. I think we have a good story to tell. And I think that there are customers out there that the way we raise our animals are going to match up to their value system. So that's an interesting question, and I've seen that thing approached from some different directions in terms of having multiple veg vendors but throttling back on the meat vendors. That's an interesting topic. So that may be something that may be a video idea, actually, come to think of it. So we might talk about that some more going forward. But great question. I appreciate you asking that. Do you have any recommendations for breeders in Central Tennessee from whom we could purchase feeders in early spring? That's from Cliffside Acres. No, I really don't. The only guy that I know that is close to Central Tennessee is Worsham Springs Farms, Tyler Leonard. He's up in Bristol, Virginia, just across the line. David Crafton. David's down in South Carolina, so that may be a little far south and east for you. Troy McClung is up in West Virginia. Troy, I don't know that he's doing any breeders right now. I think he's got a few that he's going to sell, but I'm not sure what he's got going on. No, I really don't. Go to your farmer's market. If you've got a local farmer's market, go to the farmer's market and find out who's selling pastured pork over there. Find out where they're getting their pigs. And let them know what you're doing. Don't try to be sneaky or underhanded or kind of covert about it. But find somebody that's raising the type of animals that you want to raise and find out where they're getting them. Ask folks around in your area. and see if they can kind of let you in on where they're getting their animals. They may even have some for sale. We're getting into trying to do a little bit of a breeding operation. So if somebody comes and asks me where I'm getting my pigs, I'm gonna tell them I'm raising them. And if you're interested in them, I'll put you on a waiting list because we're hoping to sell some coming up later on this year. But talk to those farmers that are raising those animals that you want to be raising. Rich Benfield, I'm with you. I have no problem with others that raise and process rabbits, but just couldn't do it. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Jeremy Bell asking Cliffside Acres, where you guys at in Tennessee? Steve Walker, hello from Hunter Hollow Farms. Hey Steve, appreciate you joining us. Where you guys at on the face of God's green earth? Outdoors of Eden, let's go Buffalo. Yeah, I'm probably gonna root for anybody but Brady. Anyway. JP Loans and More. You're dang right you do. Sheraton Park Farms. I try hard. Don't know exactly what you're talking about, but we try hard. Richard, we were talking about the meat vendors there. Cliffside Acres is in Scott County, Tennessee. Shane Hatfield wanting to start pasture pigs. What would be the best breed to start with as feeders? So, great question. And I get asked a lot of times, what's the best breed? What's the worst breed? What's the most friendly breed? What's the easiest breed to care for? We try to choose an animal that's going to grow quickly. We want a long pig with a nice wide rear and nice and wide in the front, kind of low slung to the ground. And we've been able to achieve that with the Duroc and the Berkshire cross. Those are just the ones that we have experience with. Experiment with some different animals and figure out what's going to grow well in your system and on your farm, using whatever feeding system you're using and in your climate and that kind of thing. We've just found those animals, that cross works best for us. And so we're going to keep using that Berkshire Duroc cross. We are going to try a little bit of Hereford. We got some Hereford boars. We're going to try adding that into the mix and just kind of see how that goes. So we're excited to try a little bit of that. But experiment and talk to other farms and other farmers in your area and find out what's working well for those. I've said it before. I like a nice mutt farm pig. I try to stay away from purebreds. We did have some purebred Tamworths one time, and I didn't like them very good. Get that hybrid vigor whenever you're crossbreeding some stuff. So just experiment a little bit and figure out what's going to work well on your farm. Jeremy Bell, I'm in Warren County, pretty far from you. Yep, I've been to Warren County, Warrenton. I know that area. JP Loans More, fair price, good product. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you and Kate, your friendship, and you guys being customers of us. We've really enjoyed meeting y'all, and yeah, we try to do a good job. Shane Hatfield is in Minford, Ohio. Jeremy Bell loves the Durocs. Yeah, we do too. Those Durocs, I like a red pig too. I like pigs with color. Those Durocs, low slung, long pigs, wide in the front, wide in the rear. We've been really, really pleased with the Duroc and how they're doing. They're just great pigs. We love those pigs. Eddie Watling ordered your feed mix. Looking forward to trying it out. Yeah, Eddie, let us know how that goes. We've been using that same ration now. This will be our third year. Son and I were talking about it today. It's been almost 3 years since we got our first pigs. We got our first pigs on this farm in February of 2018. So we're approaching 3 years. We've been using that same feed ration, and it has worked really well for us. We've been very pleased with it. Jeremy Bell just bought a Hereford gilt, and she's wide, long, and low. That's the pig you're looking for, brother. That right there is what you want, wide, long, and low. You get a good loin off of them. You get a good belly off of them. You get nice hams, nice picnic shoulders, and Boston butts. That's what you're looking for in a pig. Eddie Watling, I raised Berkshire and Duroc, great pigs. Couldn't agree more. We've been very pleased with the Berkshire and the Duroc cross. Aaron Flo, hello from Lincolnton. Hey Aaron, know the Lincolnton area well. My office used to be over in Conover up in Catawba County, and have some friends down in Lincolnton. And actually, my son lives in Lincolnton. He works for a utility company down there. So, don't know if y'all saw or not, we had a brand new baby lamb. Went out Thursday morning. We've had trouble with lambs, or with sheep in general. Last year we had a lot of loss. We had a coyote strike. We ended up losing 3 or 4 lambs to coyotes. Had some parasite problems, so we did worm pretty heavily back November-ish, late October, November-ish. And so our sheep now seem to be doing much better. Everybody's looking good. This lamb, again, he is just absolutely gorgeous, and he looks beautiful. Speaking of coyotes, we did catch some coyotes on a couple of the trail cams that we've got placed around the farm. So we're kind of keeping a close eye on them. We do hear Angel barking in the middle of the night, and so she seems to be keeping them. Excuse me, seems to be keeping them at bay. Question that I get commonly is, do we ever have any predator issues with the pigs? And I have never had any predator issues whatsoever with the pigs. I don't know if it's their size, and the coyotes seem to stay away from them. I wouldn't think that just a single strand electric would keep a coyote out, but knock on wood, we have never had any issues with coyotes on our pigs. So far so good on that. Tomorrow morning's video, we've got some turkeys coming next week. Believe it or not, turkeys. First, we ended the year last year at poultry with turkeys. Now we're starting this year with turkeys. We've had a big following in our ground turkey world. Folks are really enjoying the ground turkey, so we've gone ahead and bought some turkeys for this year. We're going to go and get them started. They just take a little bit longer. The 12 to 14 week range is what it's taken us to get turkeys up and get them ready for processing. So we want to go ahead and get them started early this year. We got the brooders ready for the turkeys, and so we're excited to get them. We've went ahead and ordered our first round of meat birds for this year. I think they're due in on about the 22nd. I think it's the 22nd of February. So we're going to get our meat birds up and going. We got all the brooders ready, got them cleaned out. But more on that on the video that's coming tomorrow morning. Also, want to let y'all know we're getting just a ton of comments, lots of emails, messages through Facebook and that kind of thing. I try to get to them all. I just sometimes I can't get to all of them, but we try really, really hard to get to all the messages and comments on Facebook and on YouTube and that kind of thing. If I don't reply to your comment or don't reply to your email, it's not that I'm ignoring you. We've had tremendous growth lately, which we are immensely thankful for, and that is absolutely due to everybody that watches the videos. We really appreciate that. Try to get to them, but again, if I don't get to you, I apologize. Send me another message, and I'll try my best to get around to answering you. Richard Benfield, have we done feed conversions for turkeys? We have, but I don't remember what those numbers are. I'd have to go back and look. I'll go back and look and see if I can find those numbers and see what our feed conversion on the turkeys are. Travis Bumgarner, how long do you leave turkeys in the brooder? We leave them in there till they're pretty much fully feathered out, which ends up being about 3 to 4 weeks. And then we'll put them out in our Soskovich style tractors for a couple more weeks, and then we'll put some electro netting up, and we'll open them up and let them get out and do a little bit more of a range, kind of a day range type system, where they have the tractor, they can go back in, but then they can also get out and forage. We actually enjoy turkeys. We love turkeys. They are very social animals. They love to see you coming out. You go pulling up on the buggy and they're running at the fence. They want to see you, want to see what you got. They talk to you. I mean, turkeys are just wonderful. And then they do fantastic on the grass. Whenever we move the turkeys off of an area, that area has time to rest and rejuvenate. We see actually better grass growth back on that than we do with our meat chickens. There's some theory that the turkeys, they eat a lot of grit. They eat a ton of grit. The theory is that their manure is more mineralized, and that certainly helps with the grass growing. So we enjoy turkeys, but again, about 3-4 weeks before we'll move them out of the brooder back out onto the field. Girls walk with goats. Do you know of many guardian dog breeders? I really need one for our coyote pressure. Only Great Pyrenees around me, and I'm not investing in a dog to get hit by a car. No, I really don't. We found ours through a search and through some friends last year whenever we got Angel back in May. They were over in Liberty, North Carolina, I think is where we got her. That she is our first experience with a livestock guardian dog. I don't have any experience outside of her, so I'm probably not the best guy to be asking about those dogs. She is a great Pyrenees. We've been very pleased with her. She's a great tempered dog. She done great with this brand new lamb the other day, so we've been very pleased with her. I think, you know, a livestock guardian dog, like any of your livestock animals, you probably need to have a pretty tight fence and make sure that you know, they're well contained. Because I agree with you, I would hate for her to get in the road and get run over or something like that. So that'd be terrible. Jennifer Hurley, it used to be that Fox were really bad about killing baby pigs around here. Jennifer is our neighbor. We've talked about neighbor Greg. Jennifer is Greg's wife, and she comes over and visits with us. She came over and helped us do some turkey, or process some chickens last year. And actually, Jennifer, one of our trail cams, I did see a couple of foxes on last week, I think it was. So yeah, I could see a fox getting in and taking out a baby pig. Travis Bumgarner, where do you order turkeys from? Sandra, where do we order turkeys from? Hoover Hatchery. She's in the other room. She's working on something. Hoover Hatchery is where we've been ordering our turkeys from, and I've been very pleased with them. We do the broad-breasted whites, and we really like those birds. They do well. Seven Stands Farm. Hello from Seven Stands. Hey, Jamie. If y'all hadn't checked out Seven Stands Farm, go over and check out their YouTube channel. Jamie's a good friend of mine from way back. He and I used to work EMS together, worked in the emergency department together whenever we were living up in Wilkes. He's doing pigs and goats. I think he does a few chickens from time to time. So go over and check out Seven Stands Farm if you've not checked out their channel. Richard Benfield, be interested in a video on marketability of turkeys. Very few videos on that. It's all chickens and pigs. You're right. Yeah, that's a great idea. We could do some marketability of some turkeys. Like I say, we had good luck last year with parts, legs, thighs, wings, the drumsticks, and split breasts. People love those drumsticks. Had a lot of folks buying those. And then ground turkey. A lot of folks like ground turkey as an alternative to ground beef. Jeremy Bell, I'm planning to AI the Hereford to a Duroc boar. Any suggestions on a good bloodline to order? So we've been ordering our semen from Shipley Swine. We talked about them a couple times on the channel. I'm just going to tell y'all, I order the cheapest thing they've got. On Mondays and Thursdays, those are their collection days. If you go to their Facebook page, they will list their specials. We were buying Duroc and Berkshire semen for $25 a dose. So I'm not very picky. Those are show. I understand those are show pigs. I get that, but they do have good genetics. Those pigs look good, and so far we've had really good luck on the meat side with them. So again, I'm cheap. I'm a sucker for cheap, and I'm a sucker for easy. So check out their specials on Mondays and Thursdays, and they do ship overnight. Otto Maggie, donkeys versus guardian dogs. I have zero experience with donkeys. We had considered getting a guardian donkey to go in. Had some people that had kind of advised against it, so we elected not to and ended up going with the livestock guardian dog. And actually, Jamie over at Seven Stands was the one that recommended a great Pyrenees to us, and we've been very happy with them. Travis, do you grind turkeys right after processing? No. We will take the meat off the bone and then we'll put it in the freezer. And we'll typically leave it for about 24 hours before we run it through the grinder. That meat has got to have some firmness to it. If you try to run it through there while it's still warm, right after processing, it gums up your grinder. So we put it in the freezer, let it get nice and firm before we put it through the grinder, and that helps a bunch. Jeremy Bell, also can't wait to see the chicken trailer build. I'm going to build one in the spring and want to see yours. Yeah, so picked up the lumber for that yesterday. I was hoping those guys would call me and let me come up and help with the milling, but they're busy and they ain't got time to show a rookie around on a sawmill. But picked up the lumber yesterday. We are going to use we're going to use poplar. It is green. We're going to build with green lumber. I've talked to a number of folks about building with green lumber, and they say that it should do fine. It's just framing. And we did get true cut 2x4s. So We got the trailer. We got all the breakdown on it. We got everything off. It's ready to go. We got the lumber. So now we're just kind of working on getting the rest of our parts and pieces and materials to start that build. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to try to build that thing so we can put about 400 layers in it. So we'll see how that ends up working out. So I'm excited about the new Eggmobile. Stephen Smith, hey guys, how's the Hereford Cross boars doing? Hey Stephen, so Stephen Smith, Iron Bell Acres, they're over on Facebook. Stephen is a good friend of ours up in McLeansville. He's about 25 minutes or so north of here. The two little Hereford boars that we got, we done a video on them a couple Saturdays ago, came from Iron Bell. Those guys are doing great. They're looking good. They are really growing. Excuse me. They're really growing, putting on some weight, getting taller in stature, getting a little bit longer. They're doing fantastic. They are good-looking little guys, so we're very pleased with them. I'm excited to see what those guys can do when we put them over with some gilts here. A couple months. It's not going to be long before they're going to be ready. Travis, do you usually grind meat from the entire turkey? Yes, we do. We grind. When we put together those packages of ground turkey, we do white meat, dark meat, and skin. We do put some skin in there because it does have a little bit of fat in it, and fat's where the flavor's at. And folks really enjoy it. They say that it's some of the best ground turkey that they've got. We do burgers with it. It is good. So yeah, we grind it all. We do white meat, dark meat, and the skin with it as well. And it does really well. So. Yeah, if you guys have got a question, just drop a question there in the comments. We'll talk about it. Couple other things we got going on. One of our markets that we are going to be doing this year is going to be doing a pop-up market, kind of a Valentine's market coming up on February the 13th. So that'll be our first venture out this year to a market. Excited to see how that goes. This is at the market over in Clemens. This is one that we picked up late last year. So I'm glad to be able to get out. Our delivery business is going well. We had, I think we had 10 orders yesterday. So the delivery piece is going well. The marketing right now is just a nut that we're trying to crack and really up our marketing and increase our footprint. So those are some things that we're thinking about on the farm and trying to get figured out. So Stephen Smith, awesome to hear. They seem to be holding their own with the older boars. Yeah, so those guys are. So we put these two little Hereford boar piglets that were 7 weeks old in with Jack and Hamlet, which were about 3 months old. So there was they were probably closer to 4. Huge difference in size. Those two little Hereford boar piglets would dive over into the feed bowl in front of Jack and Hamlet to make sure they were getting theirs. So those boys are not afraid of anything. Incidentally, we named them Lester and Earl after Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. So Lester and Earl are definitely holding their own, no doubt about it. Murph Games, hello. I close on a house with 20 acres, 2 fields, one about 10 acres and the other about 7. Didn't purchase at the farm, but would like to start something really small. What are your suggestions? Meat chickens are something that's easy to get into. They don't require a whole lot of infrastructure. But think about on anything that you're going to do, what's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve in the end? Are you raising those animals just to have animals on your farm? Are you raising them to process and sell? Or are you raising them to process and use for your own consumption? Know what your end goal is and plan for that. A couple things that are real easy to get into. Meat chickens are super easy to get into. Egg chickens are super easy to get into. Neither one of those require a whole lot of infrastructure. And then I've got to suggest pigs. We started with pigs at the same time we started with meat chickens, and for our farm, that's been the best decision we ever made. So any of those animals would be fine. It sounds like you've got some pretty sizable grazing areas, so you might think about some cattle. Start with a couple of beef cattle out there, put them out, and let them eat on some grass. Sheep, the possibilities are endless. You got to kind of think about what fits with your personality, what fits with the amount of time that you've got to work with them, and just make a decision. Again, keeping in mind what's your end goal, what do you want to do at the close of the day. Autumn Soto, Blue Northern Farm in East Texas. Love your videos and the live show. Also, used to live in Hickory. Hey, Autumn. Appreciate you joining us from East Texas. Yeah, so my office was over in Hickory. We're about an hour and 30, hour and 20 minutes from Hickory now. Love the Catawba County area. Murph Games, love your content. Really enjoy it. I appreciate everybody and the positive words and joining us and the emails and everything. And it does my heart good to hear folks getting started in farming and giving us feedback that what we're doing here is helping you get started. And that means the world to me. That's the satisfaction that I get from doing the YouTube channel. Richard Benfield, have you approached any restaurants about selling to them? Are there any caveats with selling to restaurants that you're aware of? So we sold some stuff to the Undercurrent restaurant, which is a restaurant in downtown Greensboro. The only caveat there is your red meats it has to be inspected, USDA inspected facility. So the thing that we kind of learned was, particularly with that restaurant, they wanted our premium cuts at a 20% discount. And I get that. I understand. Restaurants operate on a very thin margin, and they need to buy a product as reasonably as they can so that they can prepare it and then sell it and make a little money on it as well. I can sell those premium cuts for full retail, so we've elected not to go the restaurant route. I think the whole COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic left some farms that had hitched their wagon to the restaurant trade. I think it left them a little bit flat-footed. So we're kind of thankful that we never really did pursue that very much. Don't think we're going to in the future. We might do a special deal every once in a while with a restaurant if they wanted something, but it's not something that we go chasing, that we actively seek out to as part of our business model. Emerald Hills Farm, did the light increase your egg collection? I think it is. We had 24 yesterday, 25 today, and we had dipped down into the 12 to 13 to 15 range. So I think it's helping. The numbers seem to be creeping up a little bit. We've only had it on them a week, so excited to see what happens over the next couple of weeks and see if those numbers continue to go up. Eddie Watling, is there a reason you only feed 3 pounds a day to your replacement gilts instead of full feed? Yeah, so I think we're closer to 5 now that they've gotten a little bigger. I want those pigs to reach full size without a lot of extra fat. Those girls, if they put on a lot of extra fat, it can cause problems with conception and can also cause problems with farrowing. So we want them to be in a good condition without a lot of extra fat. So if we give them free choice feed, they're just going to eat and eat and eat and eat. So we ration them back just to get them to the right size and keep them in the right condition without putting a lot of extra fat on them. So that's why we ration feed any of our breeders. All of our feeder pigs, they get free choice as much as they want, whenever they want it. So that's the rationale there. Benlow Homestead, would you start with 2 females and the South? Thinking about Mount Airy livestock auctions. So if you're asking how many pigs I would start with, I would definitely start with at least 2, never a single. Pigs are herd animals, and so they're going to do better in a herd. If you're talking about buying at an auction, I would caution against that. You don't know anything about the animal. You don't know anything about where the animal came from, the conditions that it was in, what it's been exposed to, how it's been raised. If you're going to buy at an auction, just inspect the animal really well, know exactly what you're getting, and then whenever you bring it home, you probably want to quarantine that animal for a while just to make sure that it doesn't bring any disease or anything onto your farm that could potentially get passed to other animals. But I would start with at least 2. 2 females would be fine. If you do buy a male, buy a barrow if you're going to process later on, because of the whole boar taint thing. Some folks say they can taste it. Some folks say they can't. Where we're selling direct to the public, that's just not that's not a risk I'm willing to take. It takes, we can castrate a piglet in under 30 seconds. For us, it's just worth it to do that. Jeremy Bell, what chickens do you use for your meat chickens? We use the Freedom Ranger Color Yield. We get those from the Freedom Ranger hatchery. We've done Cornish cross in the past. Cornish just have not done well for us. Not saying that there's anything wrong with those birds. Some folks have really good luck with them. We've just not had a lot of good luck with the Cornish cross, so we elect to use those color yields, and they do great. We've had really good luck with them. Richard, makes sense on the restaurants. Thanks as always for the insights. Great info. Hope it's helpful to you, man. Mike Fair. Mike, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your last name. Great content. Live in Canada, and my dad and I are going to raise pasture and meat birds this year. We have 5 acres to start with and more after clearing. How many chickens do you recommend per acre? So, gosh, I don't remember the number. So I done a video on that. The name of it is Six Figure Chicken Farming. The thing about meat chickens is, or any chickens, you don't want to run those birds over an area more than once per year, because the ground has difficulty metabolizing all the nitrogen from the manure. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and figure that. But I do have a video where I talk about how many chickens you can run on an acre per year, and I think the name of it was Six Figure Chicken Farming. So go over and check that out. I'm sorry, I just don't remember. Don't remember the number. Ben Low Homestead, which females and male? Not sure I understand the question. Rephrase that down in the comments, and I'll be glad to try to answer it for you. Murph Games, is your goal to be a full-time farmer? So my goal when we bought this farm was this was going to be my retirement. This is what I wanted to do in retirement, and that's about 15 years away from me. Based on the trajectory of this farm and how we're doing and what's happening with this farm and the growth that we've been able to experience, I don't know when that may happen. That may happen sooner than 15 years out, to be determined. But yes, I would like to be able to farm full-time in the near future, because I love the lifestyle, love what I'm doing, and just, would rather be here at home than anywhere else. Jessica Ailman, hi from Florida. Hey, appreciate you joining us tonight. Hidden Springs Farm, how are you doing, folks? Chad here from snowy Ontario, Canada. God bless you, brother. We had a little bit of snow here a couple weeks ago. I'm over it. I've had enough. I'm ready for spring. Jay Roll, what's a good laying hen? Depends on what your goals are. If you want a hen that's going to lay a lot of eggs, anything in the hybrid world, the Isa Browns, the red sex links, those are a 300 to 330 egg per year chicken. If you're looking for more of a dual purpose breed, go with more of a heritage breed like a Barred Rock or a Buff Orpington or a Rhode Island Red or something like that. Girls walk with goats. When setting up pig paddocks, do you set up for the landscape area you want them in, or the amount of space for the number of pigs in the group? Yes, a little bit of both. Whenever we're ready to move pigs, we look at what the next logical area is to move them into. We do use the landscape to determine where some fencing and that kind of thing is going to be, and that's very helpful. And then if that paddock is a little bit smaller, then we'll just move them off of it quicker. If it's a little bit larger, we may leave the pigs on there a little bit longer. So we take all those things into consideration whenever we're determining pig moves and what the paddock's going to look like and where it is and that kind of thing. Murph Games, hey, wish it was snowing in Arkansas. God bless you. Andy Lee, hello from East Tennessee. Where are you located? Andy, we are in Greensboro, North Carolina, just south, I'm just south of Greensboro. Where are you in East Tennessee? I grew up just over the mountain from Mountain City, so I'm very familiar with East Tennessee. Used to spend a lot of time over in the Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol area, growing up, and then even as a young adult. NP Hypnosis, hello from North Pole, Alaska. Wow, thank you for joining us. I think you probably win the distance award for the night. So it's got to be cold up there. Y'all getting any sunlight at all yet? I know it stays dark up there. Autumn Soto, I found that getting retired show pigs at the end of the season has worked well for me. I have Duroc and Berkshire. That's a good thought. Never thought about retired show pigs. That would be a good source of pigs. Matteo Riki, hello. How much sheep is good to start with for a new farmer? Sheep are herd animals, so I would definitely wouldn't do anything less than 2. Depending on the amount of space you got. I've got 20 acres, and right now I've got 11 sheep, but they rotate around very, very regularly. We move them at least once a week, sometimes a couple times a week, especially whenever we got plenty of grass. We keep them moving really, really regular. So kind of depends on how much space you got, what kind of time frame or what kind of time you have to devote to them. But at least 2. Don't put a herd animal out there in a single. Always make sure they've got a buddy. David Cap, where's that sexy farm help you have? That sexy farm help is working on some bratwurst right now. So, Tillman Family Farm, I'm late. Sorry, somebody had this crazy idea for a family dinner. Hey, man, spend time with your family. We appreciate you joining us. Tillman Family Farms, also another YouTube channel. Chris they're down in Georgia. They're doing pigs. He has some funny adventures with his pigs getting out from time to time. So if you've not checked out Tillman Family Farms on YouTube, go over and check those guys out as well. They've got a cool little YouTube channel. Hidden Springs Farms at Murph Games. Don't water 14 inches of snow. God almighty. On the right side, planting my seed starts. So seeds, that's a good something to talk about. We went to the Rural King up in Martinsville, Virginia last night. On the way up there, we were talking about seeds, and I said, well, let's talk about what we want to grow so that we don't do a lot of impulse purchasing on seeds. Well, that didn't last, and we brought home, I don't know, probably 20 packs of seeds. I don't know what all she bought, but anyway, and then some seeds starting medium, so it's time, we're thinking spring around here too. Kaleidoscope Junkie, good evening, ladies and gentlemen from Atlanta. Hey, Kaleidoscope. My buddy Eric's asking about you down at the mill, wondering how you were doing. Eric Bays, sorry running late. Hey man, better late than never. Appreciate you joining us. NP Hypnosis, about 5 hours of sunlight. I couldn't imagine. We're back up to a little over 10 hours of sunlight now, and I don't like these long nights and short days. I'm a warm weather, a lot of sunlight kind of guy. JP Lawns and More, love Rural King, man. Me too. That's like the big boy toy store. We only make it up there about once a month, but whenever we go, we know it whenever we leave. Jeremy Bell, same luck here with Cornish rocks. The way they grow makes me leery anyway. Something not right about. Yeah, those birds just grow fast. A lot of cardiorespiratory issues with them. We have a lot of congestive heart failure on the ones that we've had. They just don't forage very well. I don't know. I like the color yield. They act more like a chicken. Matteo, do you own any tractors? If so, do you recommend one? Yes, I do have a Coyote CK4010. It's a 40 horsepower. Have been very pleased with it. Someone was asking me about it today. The only issue that I have with that tractor is the lift capacity on the front end loader just isn't quite what I wish it was. I can do about 1,200 pounds without any problems. Anything over 1,200 pounds, and it struggles and just doesn't do very well. So wish it had a little more lift capacity on the front. NP Hypnosis, our burrow now have rules that even in the curb we can have chickens and the small farm animals. Won't have a small flock for eggs and some for meat. Yeah, chickens are great animals. They're great for recycling your kitchen waste and eggs and meat. I mean, chickens are great animals. I think there's about 300 here on this farm right now. Jay Roll, my wife and I are from Colorado. We just purchased 48 acres in Missouri. Congratulations. Plan on moving there the next month. I've been watching your videos on raising pigs. I'm thinking I'll give it a try. You should. Pigs are great animals. I've told the story a couple times. When we started this farm, we weren't planning on pigs. We were going all in on meat chickens. But pigs is the best decision we ever made on this farm. We've been very pleased with our pigs. Girls walk with goats. Half the fun of gardening is seed buying. I know we've got seed catalogs around here. It's just seeds. I don't know what else to say. Tillman Family Farms. Thanks, Chuck. By the way, finally found some great piglets. Awesome. Where did you get them at? If you don't mind sharing, where'd you get them at? What did you end up buying? What breeds? Tell me a little bit about them. Kaleidoscope Junkie, tell him I said hi. He crossed my mind today. I'll let him know you said hey. Which Hidden Springs Farm, which breed of pigs is best for a first timer? Any pig that you get, just make sure that you interact with that animal. Get them used to you. Get them used to being with you. Again, I recommend just a mutt mixed breed farm pig. I've had some purebred. I had some Tamworth. Didn't like the purebred pigs. I like a crossbreed pig. Again, we use the Berkshire Duroc cross. We're adding a little bit of Hereford, adding a little bit of Hampshire, and they're all good pigs. Just interact with those pigs and get them used to you being over in the area with them, and they'll do fine. Pigs are great animals. They're very resilient animals. To recommend just a specific breed, just couldn't. Should have got an RK37. Yeah, I probably should have got a 37. I may end up getting one of those. I don't know. I've talked to Sandra about a new tractor. That's been Nick's, but she keeps getting seed catalogs, so there's some negotiation to be had there somewhere. Richard, I think the calculation 600 chickens per acre, 30 chickens in a 60 square foot tractor for 35 days on pasture. That'd be half acre for 30 chickens times 20. Yep, so about 600 chickens per acre. That does sound right, and that calculation does look right to me. Brian Kerwick, I like that you do not have American Guinea Hog or Cooney, any of those other wacky breeds that so many pastured swine operators have. Pigs grow best on full feed hog ration. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the pure breeds, the Coonies, Guinea Hogs, Mangalistas, Idaho pasture pigs. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I just like the mixed breeds. They seem to do well for us. That's kind of what I've started with and what we've stuck with. Again, there's nothing wrong with those pigs, but we just like the mutts ourselves. Matteo, do you feed your pigs vegetables? We do. In the spring and summer, whenever in the early fall when we've got the garden going, any tomatoes that are rotten or squash that get overly, they get too big and they get real pithy and that kind of thing. Yeah, we feed those to the pigs and they love them. I mean, it works great. Doug Nance, hey Chuck, how do I guess at my pig's weight? Tamworth large black cross. We've got them from Six Oaks in late November. Thanks. So there's a formula where you measure the heart girth. You go around the pig just behind the front legs. And then you measure their length, which is the base of their skull to the root of their tail, not the tip of their tail, but the root of the tail where it comes out of the back. And it is, double check me, it is heart girth times length divided by 400. That'll get you pretty close. I've done that calculation on some of our pigs and then taken them to process the next day. We're typically within about 10 to 15 pounds. It's not exact, but it gets you really, really close. But I'm pretty sure it's either heart girth times length, or it's heart girth times length. You multiply one of them twice, but I think it's heart girth times length divided by 400. Hello from New Brunswick. Corey Green, hello from New Brunswick, Canada. Hey, appreciate you joining us. Got some Ontario folks in here tonight. Corey, just got my first pigs last night. 4 castrated males, 10 to 12 weeks old, 2 litters, Berkshire Tamworth crosses. Those pigs should do well. 10 to 12 weeks old, that's a great age to start them with. Hope you got your training pen set up. Get your electric wire in there. Get those pigs trained on that electric wire. They're going to do fantastic. I would imagine that's probably going to be a really nice pig that's going to grow out over time. Ben Lowe, love the bluegrass influence. I'm a cocoa bird. Yeah, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. I've been a bluegrass fan all my life, growing up in the mountains of North Carolina. We love Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and Dale McCurry and Ricky Skaggs and Russell Moore and just all the bluegrass guys. Jamie Song BJ, have you ever aged your pork when processing? If so, were you happy with it? We have not. Our processor doesn't offer that. I'd like to try some aged pork sometime, but our processor just doesn't offer that. What do we feed our sheep? So they are primarily grass fed. We do feed them a little bit of a sheep ration. It's a Bartlett milling ration. I think it's a 14% protein. And then during this time of year, we make sure they've got plenty of hay. So that's our feed regimen for the sheep. Carl Parks. I'm raising Berkshire at the moment. They're 6-month-old, and my boars become aggressive. I've never had mixed breed boars to be aggressive. Gilts are still young, hoping they will calm down. Hope so. Yeah. Not sure why he would be aggressive. Are any of those girls in heat and he can't access them, or is there anything that you've noticed that's triggered that? I'd be interested to know that. Murph Games, let's say I tried 30 broilers, 2 pigs, and some laying hens. How much feed are you looking at on top of free range? And side question, how many laying hens would you use for a 5-member family? 5-member family, we'll start there. 3 birds would be plenty. You should be getting about 3 eggs a day. So that's 21 eggs a week. So that should be plenty, unless you guys just like more eggs, and in that case you'd get more chickens. 30 broilers, 2 pigs, and some laying hens. How much feed are you looking at on top of free ranging? So your broilers are going to go through more feed as they get older. And I'm sorry, I don't have those numbers in front of me. I could get you the numbers and tell you exactly what you're going to need. On 2 pigs, you're probably going to need, over the course of their life, you're going to need about a ton of feed. We calculate feed on pigs to get to our 6-month mark. Our 325 to 350 pound mark takes about 1,000 pounds of feed. So you're going to need about 1,000 pounds of feed for those pigs, and then the broilers, I'd have to go back and look at those numbers. I just don't remember off the top of my head. John James, we raise Cooney and love them. Don't write a heritage breed off. I know everybody has their favorite breeds, but as for us, we'll stick with our Coonies and IPA. Man, if they work for you, go for it. I don't have an issue with them. Again, it's just not something that we've done. We do the mixed breed. That works good for us. But if you like Coonies and IPAs, then absolutely go for it. Don't have a bit of problem with that. Need coffee? Do you have to use extra feed? How do you keep the pesticides and other nasty junk out of it? I know the organic certification is pretty expensive and probably not necessary. So we do buy conventional feed. Buying non-GMO organic is right now for us is cost prohibitive. We've talked to and have looked at some other feed options, but we've just never found anything that worked well for us in terms of cost and the other factors, accessibility and those kinds of things. We try to make sure these animals are out on pasture and have the best life that they possibly can have. And so we try to include high quality feed there. We do source all of our feeds locally, but the organic and non-GMO have just not been nuts that we can crack yet. Tom Ellington, Tater Road, Berkshires. There's an app online. Plug your measurements in. It'll show you gross weight. Yep. Just Google pig weight calculation, and I'm sure you can probably find that pretty easy. Tillman Family Farms. Crazy enough, we're getting them from Turn Time Farms. They're a local farm about 25 miles. They do all the same things we do, but have been in business since 2015. Nice. Glad you guys found a good source. The Berkshire, Hampshire, York Cross remind me a lot. They remind them of ours. Awesome. Yeah, excited to see how those do for you. Glad that you guys found something locally. I know that some emails we were talking about distance and that kind of thing. So I'm glad you guys were able to find something that's easily accessible for you. That's awesome. Carl Parks, they're not in heat at the moment. I separated him from them. Since then, he's gradually gotten worse, debating on replacing him. If you can't get that out of him and you can't figure out why, I would recommend that. Don't keep an animal around that's going to hurt you or hurt a visitor or a family member. They're just not worth it. If he's aggressive and causing you problems, yeah, I'd cut him loose. So that's the best thing to do. Corey Green is the 6 months from birth or weaning. The 6 months for us is from birth. The last group of pigs we processed, born April 15th. They were processed the last week in October, so they were 6 months old, and we were realizing weights of 625 to 650. Steve Walker, Rutledge, Tennessee, and East Tennessee. I know the Rutledge area, know where that is. Appreciate you joining us. Thinking Southerner. Thanks for all your information. Just put my American guinea hogs in the woods on 2-strand with your help. Much appreciated. Awesome. That's great. People that say you can't keep pigs in electric just hadn't never tried. Train them well. Put them in that training pen. Make sure that fence is nice and hot. Get those pigs used to getting zapped. Let them learn that that's something they don't want to be a part of. And then you can put them out in the woods or on the pasture, single strand, double strand of electric, and they're going to do just fine. Murph Games, it seems like my 3 favorite farmers to watch so far are all from around the North Carolina. Do you know anybody from your zone in Arkansas as well? Don't know anybody in Arkansas. Living Traditions Homestead, those guys are in Missouri, and that's probably in about the same zone as you. Check them out, Living Traditions Homestead. They do a real good job with their YouTube channel. They do pigs, chickens, big garden. I think they do a little do some cattle too. They've got a good channel over there. William White Jr., enjoy your show. Have you ever considered raising Dexter or Mini Hereford? Yes, we have talked about Dexter. We've talked about Aberdeen Angus. That's a smaller Angus breed. We've just not pulled the trigger on that yet. We've got some other infrastructure projects that we need to get done before we bring cattle on here full time. But hope to do that sometime in the future. And yes, would like to do sort of a smaller framed breed, just so we can have a little bit heavier stock and density in terms of numbers of animals. Bud Hames, Decatur, Illinois. Appreciate you joining us from Illinois. Do you guys grow any crops? We don't. Everything that we grow, we do some garden stuff. And then we don't really do a garden for market garden. We sell some of our excess vegetables, but we don't raise any crops specifically. Jam and the Ham Farm and Ranch. Howdy from Bowie, Texas. Any tips on getting pigs to breed? I have 2 males and 4 females that are pastured and almost a year old. They're Duroc Hampshire. Those girls should be coming into heat by now. Yeah. I'm not sure why they're not coming into heat. You might want to consult with a vet. I'm not. That's an interesting. Ours typically will start coming into heat about 6 or 7 months, so they should be in good shape. Eli Summey, are you running your pigs on pasture? We are. If so, are your pigs rooting? They do root. Yep. Or don't you worry about it? No, I don't worry about it. I want them to fluff that pasture up. I want them to fluff the ground up. If we get big holes or they, root out, a big wallow or something like that, I'll throw the box blade on the tractor or throw a drag harrow on there, running across the pasture and smooth things out. I'm fine with them rooting. I want them to stir up that seed bank, aerate that soil, and it does work. It works pretty good for us to do that. Travis, what kind of grinder do you have for turkeys, or where'd you get it? We're from Waco, North Carolina. Waco, yeah, down in Cleveland County. I don't remember the brand, but I can find out. It was a grinder that Sonder bought. It's a a commercial grade grinder. Works great, but I don't know the brand on it. Richard, sorry, don't want to steer your viewers wrong. Double check my numbers. That was based on 8 weeks, 3 in the brooder, 5 on pasture. Yeah, still 600 chickens on an acre. I mean, that's probably going to be pretty close. I wouldn't lose a whole lot of sleep over that. I think 600 on an acre would probably be fine, depending on the breed and how long you grow. It might be more like 420 per acre for 10 weeks, 330 for 12 weeks. Yeah, that's going to be individual context. Put those birds out there again. Just don't run them over a space more than once in a year, because of having that high nitrogen load. Benlow Homestead, your new homestead, which female breed? Which female breed and male? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Benjamin A.B. Hey from Trinity. Hey neighbor. We're trying to figure out how many joules are needed for a small pig paddock. More or less than 1 joule. Always buy a bigger energizer than what you think you need. If you think you need a 1 joule, go ahead and buy a 2. If you think you need a 2, go ahead and buy a 4. It's better to have more power. Don't skimp on your energizer. Get a good quality energizer and buy something a little bit bigger than what you need. Travis has a South Pole bull that's crossing with an Angus if you're interested in good smaller cattle. Okay. Yeah, those South Pole, I think that's what Greg Judy's raising. Don't remember. But that's supposed to be good cattle. Do all rabbit breeds poop the same, or do some breeds poop more? I'm getting rabbits this spring, so I'm deciding which breed, not for meat, but for cuddling. Man, I don't know nothing about rabbits. I've never had rabbits and just don't know anything about them. JP, he's in Trinity. Went to school. Oh, he knows. Good. It's like high school reunion around here. You guys talking to one of that's awesome. And then Brian, Los Hills Homestead, rabbits poop the same. Yeah, I would imagine that's probably pretty accurate. So guys, we're at an hour. Appreciate everybody joining us. Like I said, I've got a new video coming out, working on it, trying to get it out tomorrow morning. I appreciate all the support of the channel. We had a couple of folks that signed up on the Buy Me a Coffee. Appreciate you guys doing that. Appreciate the financial support. We've tried to get some additional equipment to improve our video quality. And we just appreciate your support, watching, commenting, thumbs up, sharing the videos. Please continue. That helps us more than anything. Give us a thumbs up on the videos. Share them with folks, whether it's on social media. Text them to somebody that you think might be interested in it. But we appreciate y'all sharing the videos. Travis, let's see. Yeah, so the Buy Me a Coffee, there's a link to that in the description down below. It's kind of like Patreon. You can go in there. You can, tip the channel. There's monthly subscriptions. There's some different stuff that you can do on there. We don't talk a whole lot about it. It's in the description. If you feel led to and would like to provide some financial support, we appreciate it. But please, by all means, it is not required whatsoever. We enjoy bringing the content to y'all, sharing what we've got going on. And again, just hearing folks say that what we do helps you on your farm, helps you on your homestead. That means a whole lot to us. Real quick, one more. Ben Lowe, do you have a greenhouse? We've got a 12 by 10 from Harbor Freight. I do have a greenhouse. I'm going to clean that thing out. That's going to be another video. Enjoy the greenhouse. We've got we've had a lot of good luck with the greenhouse. We get a lot of stuff going in there, and it works out really, really good. We like our little greenhouse. I think ours is a Harbor Freight. I bought it from some guy down in Concord. I think he gave him $100 for it. And it's been worth every penny that we paid. Guys, appreciate y'all watching. We'll try to do this. I'm gonna try to do a couple of these a month. If y'all enjoy them, I think it's an opportunity for all of us to get together and talk about what's going on our farms and answer questions and that kind of thing. Floated the idea of doing just a private Zoom call for just a couple of folks to dig in very specifically on your farms. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, chuck@SheratonParkFarms.com, and we may try to get something together. I've looked at a couple different options on that, but would love to have some smaller group conversation about pigs and what you're doing on your farm and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, guys, hope y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.